What's up, guys? Happy
hello,
Friday.
hello.
So we have an interesting topic today. Today we're going to get physical. Let's get physical. So we're going to talk about music. We're going to talk about how it can help and pros and cons of listening to music while working out. We know that music does help. Benefits include, distracting people from pain, fatigue, elevates mood, increases endurance, reduces perceived effort, and may even promote metabolic increases. So,
Boom. There's a lot of studies. I've researched a little bit. I listen to music when I work out. I think you guys do too. I think most people do.
I think it depends for me particularly. So, like sometimes I feel very overstimulated and I really enjoy a workout every once in a while that's just in the quiet. Sometimes I enjoy workouts and I know Ollie does because I, walked in on him working out with motivational speeches on. Sometimes I like to do that. And it depends on the genre of music as well. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I prefer certain genres.
Well, motivational speech is not music.
Well,
so there's a difference.
Okay, so you know what I'm saying, Justin, is, there's a difference between being overstimulated and sometimes you want to hear nothing and sometimes you want to hear something more motivational, more positive, and sometimes you want to just hear beep, boops, and beats.
Yeah. Well, there's science behind it too. So as I said, I was doing a little bit of research. And so like you said, it's like a pain reliever kind of, but it distracts your mind from pain, but that actually has to do with the dopamine being released while you listen to the music. It basically creates this like pain, I guess, illusion where you can't really feel the pain as much. So it dims the pain. So it's very useful during exercise for that reason. David Goggins would tell you you're cheating if you listen to music. He doesn't listen to music while he runs his 100-mile races or when he runs or does any workouts. The only time he's ever really listened to it was when he broke the pull-up record. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you've seen that.
And he wasn't even really listening to the music. I think he was watching the Rocky.
It was one song.
He was watching the actual training segment.
He was watching it, but he was listening. It was that section with that music. Mm-hmm. But it's 17 hours straight.
Yeah.
And he broke the record. And I'm sure his elbows and his back as well.
Although it can help improve the stamina and endurance, sometimes, like I said, with me being overstimulated, I find that it can distract rather than like in a way that distracts from like the value of my workout rather than distracting me from the pain. And I wonder if that is something to do with us being more like athletes. It's not something where I only do it a couple times a week. I work out multiple times a week. I've been doing this for many, many, many years. And so I don't necessarily, I guess the pain doesn't bother me. So like I could see how that could be really helpful for people where like the pain really bothers them. Maybe they're new into the game. And so the music, is a great distraction from the pain. But I think for me, every once in a while, not listening to music really doesn't affect that pain level because I think I'm just to a point where I just like I'm immune to it while it's happening. Sure, I get sore afterwards, but I'm not like hyper driving my focus on the pain during the workout.
Yeah. There's the study that I was watching or listening to earlier. They talked about high intensity and basically workouts, like really intense, hard workouts compared to like low to moderate exercise. And if you listen to fast-paced music during the low intensity exercise, it increases your heart rate and it increases basically the workout a lot. So there's a lot of data from that. But if you listen to it during the intense workouts, you can tune out the music, so it's not giving you as big as an effect. So it's really effective during a low to medium exercise, like what did you say, intensity. Right. But when it comes to super high intensity, it doesn't affect as much. But it said also if you listen to a low tempo, like downbeat, something not gonna hype you up. The effects are dramatically, like they're going to affect your workout in a bad way. So if you're going to listen to music, make sure it's fast paced. And that's what like the study was based on. They gave like all these subjects, this music, they changed tempo and everything. It was pretty in depth.
Do you know exactly how this study was conducted? Like, was it conducted on Joe Schmo or was it conducted with athletes?
It was with athletes, and I think it was like at a college, from what I heard.
Okay,
correct.
Cool.
But they had like they were changing the tempo of the music. It was like there was a lot of details to
Yeah.
the study.
A lot of variables.
But basically, they summed it up as if you're going to listen to music, make sure it's fast-paced music if you're going to work out.
Okay. That makes some
if
sense.
you want it to affect your workout. But if like it said, it really dramatically affected your workout if it was downbeat, slow, not amping you up. Because it does amp you up. It gives you motivation. And it does increase your heart rate a little bit.
Okay.
So your body matches the tempo of the song. So
and I can see that too.
Syncs.
I really can, because when I work out too, like really heavy bass EDM, and that's really fast paced.
Transformers.
You know, and especially if I find one really good song, and I'm sure Justin can attest this because he's caught me listening to songs on repeat like 10 times. But if it really works well for me, I find myself pushing myself really hard, you know, and it might be one song I really like, I'll just keep listening to it on repeat for maybe 30 minutes straight. If I'm finding good results from that, as far as endurance and stamina.
Straight.
Oh, that too.
Sometimes.
But I do find that to be true for me. I mean, I definitely can't work out to very slow paced. I'm trying to think of like an artist, like Juice WRLD. I couldn't work out to Juice WRLD, but we do have some clients that like to listen to Juice WRLD.
I say something the one day. I was like, "Who put this on?"
Yeah,
it was like some kid's favorite artist. I was like, "I'm sorry if I offended you, but it's just very down."
And Phil actually told us today or earlier when we were all talking about this topic that we wanted to talk about for the podcast today, that like, and we know that he listens to reggae, but that like when he listens to it while he works out, a lot of people are like, "Oh, how do you listen to reggae when you work out?" And he had said, "Well, I tune it out, you know." And so I do find sometimes I can tune out music and people, and sometimes I can't. It really just depends on my mood. Am I having anxiety and the triggers? You know, my mood for the day. Right. And for the week, it depends how much stress I've had. So that all depends on that too. If I find that I'm really, really stressed, I really want to release it. So I really want to have a more fast paced song going, and I really want to get a really high intensity workout. That's just me. How do you feel?
Well, I was actually kind of curious as far as, do you associate certain music with certain levels of workout personally?
Yeah, I do actually. Now that you say that, because I do particularly like to listen to certain, like, you know, like on Spotify, they create little playlists, right? Like, oh, feel yourself, or, you know, confident booster. Like the feeling yourself playlist. I love to listen to that type of song, those type of songs, like the twerk workout songs, when I'm doing a leg day.
Booty.
Yeah.
Like when I feel like I'm like, oh, I'm a boss bitch. I like to listen to boss bitch music, you know, like when I'm doing particular, you know, boss bitch like workouts. But when I'm doing more like high intensity, high cardio, that's when I feel like I want to do more like high bass EDM songs.
Really?
Yeah.
So like the bassiness.
Yeah.
Like you feel like that correlates to like cardio.
That or really heavy death metal. That shit
and
gets
that's
me
for
going
cardio.
too. Yeah. For more cardio like.
Okay.
It's
Just
fast.
But if I'm doing like a really like intense like cardio mixed with lifting, then same thing.
Okay.
But generally, if I'm like lifting and I'm feeling really good about it, I'm feeling confident about this new heavy weight I'm lifting, it's not really a fast paced like cardio workout.
Yeah.
I like that, like I'm a boss bitch type workout music.
Okay. And I was kind of curious about like, you know, for you, Justin, if you were going to break down like very similar to Abby, whether it was a cardio or it was like a heavy day, like what would you listen to anything different?
Yeah, I think the heavy days is going to be death metal, like Slipknot or something very fast paced.
Okay.
Heavy bass drums, very high tempo.
Okay.
But when it comes to a heavy set, like the study said, and I do believe this to be true, like you get amped right before the set, and once you get under the bar or say a squat, everything goes blank. I don't hear anything. All I care about is moving that weight. So the hyper focus becomes, that's where they say it could be a distraction.
Yeah.
But when you have like a really heavy weight on, like something that you might not be able to get, you have to hyper focus or you will fucking die. So that is a full tune out, I believe, is like when you have a really hard, heavy set that you might be questioning.
Oh, yeah.
So that's when I can fully tune out. But like during a workout, I don't have to listen to music. I can. It helps. Podcasts are really good during workouts. Those are going to be more of my not super intense days.
Yeah. Would that be like cardio for you?
Not cardio, just some like day where I'm like, just like, I'm going to hit an arm day.
Okay.
And I don't have to be a psycho today.
Okay. Gotcha.
The weights. So like, that'll be like my gangster rap days.
Yeah.
Or like the podcasts. or like a YouTube video or something.
Or a Justin rap original.
Or yeah, no, those get me amped up.
Okay.
He just put a reel up recently with his own rap in the back, and I was like, "That sounds like
There
a
we
familiar
go.
She's like,
voice."
who is that?
I was
And
like, "Who is
well,
that?" He's
I'll
like,
throw
"It's
in
an
little
original."
hidden
And I'm
Yeah.
like,
gems.
I mean, you got sometimes you just want to hear your own voice.
Of course. I'm like Kanye West. I go down and listen to my own music on the street.
"All right,
Hey.
here's the new Ye. It's Justin." Okay.
Yeah.
How about you,
Yeah.
Ollie? When
So-
you're listening, okay, so I'm curious when you're doing a boxing or a Muay Thai workout versus weights, what do you like to listen to?
It really does depend on my mental state because
Yeah.
I find that my mental state is constantly fluctuating through both of those. So it will, like, sometimes when I'm doing Muay Thai, I'll listen to classical. Sometimes I'll listen to, like dubstep or whatchamacallit, metalcore, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Something that's really high tempo, but sometimes I want it to be completely silent because I
Yeah.
want to focus and hone in on my technique and my form. So it's more so about what I'm trying to pull out of myself and what I think is going to aid me in that mental aspect of that mind muscle connection, and especially when I'm focusing on technique. That's like when it's big time. I'm either going to play classical or I'm going to play nothing. If I'm purely trying to hone in on technique, I'll even close my eyes and I'll start shadow boxing then, because even the visual stimulus is too much.
Yeah.
I want to know how my body feels moving through space and time, and I want to know exactly how it feels, and I don't want anything to distract me from that. And then I have other days where it's like, on a heavy lift, that's an external object that I'm trying to move, and for some reason, music really helps when I'm moving something else. When I'm moving myself, the lack of music or something that's more down paced is more engaging for me because I feel like I can fall into myself. When it's something external I have to move, especially like a real heavy lift, the crazier the better. If it's fucking
That's my next
DMX party
question
up in
to you.
here,
So,
Lacrimosa.
especially because
Yeah, 100%.
being a fighter, I feel like definitely has, like you said, different mental states. Do you kind of experience what I just explained with the, like, when I'm wanting to feel myself, when I'm wanting to feel like I'm a boss, I want to listen to certain music? Do you feel those different mental states, like when you're trying to do a fighting workout? Like, okay, I want to feel like I'm the best animal on the planet, versus like, okay, I really want to come to this workout with humility. And is that really nice for you, or is that a little bit more like you can kind of gauge now when you're gonna maybe go into these modes, like maybe at the beginning of a week versus end of the week type thing? And I was just wondering if there's any sort of like, is this random for you, or can you catch yourself going into, is there a pattern to these mental states?
Yes. So there is a pattern to the mental states, and it's directly correlated to essentially when I'm going to be competing. And I recognized this during my previous fight camp because the week of, like, the very last week of preparation, I didn't know that my fight was going to be canceled. Unfortunately, it was canceled. But the week before, like my final week of training, where I was like, you know what, this is my last chance to get out as much as possible. I did realize, or I recognized that, especially on my final night of sparring, my playlist, I cultivate my playlist pretty organically and consistently. So I'd added about 7 new songs over the course of 7 days, which normally doesn't really happen for me. I don't, every once in a while, I'll find like, oh, this is a cool song. And then, every once in a blue moon, I'll find that, holy shit, I'm finding a bunch of new songs. And so this week was one of those weeks. I found a bunch of new songs, and they were all hype songs. Like, fire. I don't know the rest of it. That's it. That's all I remember.
Say it. The best song in the world. One
Sorry,
lyric.
it's not familiar.
Yeah. It was funky. It's a funk song.
It's an old song.
Oh,
He knows what I'm saying.
Yeah, you've heard it. Oh, you heard it.
Yeah.
It's very popular.
And
I don't
so
know
like
the name.
that was part of my new playlist. And I recognized that when I was going in for my final night of sparring, I played like those 7 songs that I just added, and they were all hype up. They were all kind of funky. They were all like, like allowing me to flow into me. I don't know. That's kind of, it was something that was mindset very similar to like, I'm a boss bitch, but it was more like, I'm gonna come in and fuck this dude up.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
that's
when
what
we
my
played,
mindset was
I'm
cultivated
sure when
through
you
those
played
songs by.
lacrosse, like our team,
I was
we
just gonna go into
had
that.
a hype
Sports.
fucking song. Like,
Yeah.
whole locker room would be fucking lit,
I hated their
jumping
sense
around.
of
I'm just saying,
music.
like, it's a very hype thing,
Yeah.
and it works.
Yeah.
But if you don't have it like that, this is the thing that Goggin says: don't rely on it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have it, then now you're going to be able to perform. Because some people without that hype song or without the slap in the face, they're not going to be the same person on the field.
Sometimes music is like an additive, like a pre-workout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So I just wonder like what both of your thoughts are on this. Is like what he said, like he didn't really like the playlist like that his sports teams used. I generally find that like a lot of basketball teams, football teams, lacrosse, all those teams, right before they have a big tournament or competition, they always pick rap. But like with cheerleading, competitive cheerleading, when
sometimes.
I wish I could take Justin to one of these competitions. Maybe one day we'll have a daughter. And my sister could tell him as well. But so it's like it's huge. It's like a huge arena. You walk in there and the music is blasting and it's bass EDM just for hours. And so when I'm behind that stage,
never in person,
but when I'm behind that stage and I see that team and they're about to hit that last thing, and then you're about to go on, it's like everything slows down. Your heart rate is pumping right out of your chest. You feel like you're gonna throw up, and it's like you're just very conscious of everything around you. And then all of a sudden that big bass drops and you're about to get on stage and it's like full force. So I did notice a performance increase with the fact that the cheerleading teams use these particular types of music.
Yeah, I think the music helps a lot. I think that it used to definitely amp me up. We had a weird song that we used to play for, this was like me and my brother. It was fucking Styx, Sweet Man in Blue. And there was one part of the song, I don't know what it was and why we liked it so much, but this thing hyped us up. And we literally would use it for football games. And our teammates were like, I think we were fucking retarded. I mean, it's a Styx song. It's not a hype song at all.
Okay.
But for some reason, I don't know, it like triggered us to be like amped. Like we just like equated it with like, we're amped. This is it.
I think there are a lot of different modalities to access that level of ampedness,
Yeah.
And whether or not that's, a fear of regret, because sometimes you can access that level of emotion or, commitment to a workout via the fear of regret, via the fear of loss, via the pain of loss. There are a lot of ways to pull a workout out of yourself and pull the best out of yourself. I think when you have like a very flexible mind and a very malleable, or if you're in a very malleable situation, you can find that a lot of different styles of music are going to work for you. And that's why I think, it's a very personal preference. I've had people that come in and they request Lizzie. Is that her name?
Lizzo.
No.
Lizzo.
Oh, Lizzo. Hey,
that's like more like the bad bitch mentality. Like, I'm feeling myself.
I have people that come in and request like screamo or death metal.
There's definitely workouts where Abby has on music, and I'm like, thank God I can tune this out.
And some people do like to work out to sad music because that pain
sometimes
motivates
it's Alejandro when I walk into the gym.
Yeah.
Sometimes people like to listen to shower playlists. Ollie.
Sometimes. Hey, whatever floats the boat. Whatever gets you amped up. And I
really
ask clients that.
Yeah.
That's a good question to ask them.
The
what the
mental state has everything to do with it, right? That's just my opinion. I really think that it really just depends. Like if you feel yourself being down that day, then I feel like then something hype is going to bring you up, right? You wouldn't match down with down.
Or sometimes I do match down with down.
Yeah,
sometimes I like to imagine everyone I knew and loved died.
All right. Well, I definitely don't ever go there.
Mm-hmm.
In my head.
We'll clip that for a reel right there.
It works.
Sometimes I imagine everyone's dead.
Yeah, and I just have to go on a killing rampage like
John Wick. My God.
Like straight up John Wick out here,
There you go. CIA is knocking at your door.
Honestly, I have somebody that can relate to that. Bridget loves John Wick. You know who Bridget is.
She
loves John Wick. She's always like trying to like.
A real person,
she's like, it would be so cool if you guys did like John Wick type like training. Yeah. I mean, it would be funny if we made like a whole like fake video of us with like the lights out, very dramatic with like fake guns and like John Wick style.
I think she meant like real.
No, she meant like real.
No,
she
definitely meant real guns. But
if you hit a set of 225 and then you get off and you hit you blow a fucking hole in the wall with a shotgun, that'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
What do you guys think? Should we open this gym, the gun gym, the gun show?
I still think that we should be the first to open one of those jungle gyms that's in Tulum. If you haven't looked it up, you need to go on Instagram and look up Jungle Gym Tulum, Mexico.
Wooden weights.
It's insane. Like the wooden weights look like they're like 300 pounds, and it's like maybe like a 50. And so like when people have 250s in their hands, it just looks nuts. And then they have like this like bird nest looking thing that's like you put the weight in it, or somebody could stand in it. It's essentially like a prison outdoor gym made out of wood. And then it's like a wood handle for like a lat pull down. And so like somebody stands in the little bird's nest and you just go up and down with the person, it's like, it's really, it's honestly a cool idea. And I really think that it could make millions if we had a little small membership to it and we were the first to make it in Florida.
The wood gym. It's
Yeah.
an Instagram sensation.
It is.
Yeah.
So if you build it, they will come. All those Graham freaking stars will be showing up at your Tulum gym in
I'm
Florida.
telling you,
You
people
could build it with
travel
that
just to go to
purpose.
this gym.
Yeah.
Well, that's literally why people go there now.
It's a novelty item.
It's
Yeah.
It's like going to Muscle Beach in the fucking middle of the jungle or wherever the fuck that is. Where's Tulum? It's on the water.
Tulum is in New Mexico, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. No,
Not
it's
a
in
geologist.
Mexico. Tulum's in Mexico. But yeah, it's really cool. So you should look it up on Instagram. But so back to the music thing. I really think that it does depend on your mental state. And then it's kind of like if you have the option to choose, right? You're doing a workout by yourself, feel out your mood, feel out what you think is going to be best for you. Look back on previous patterns. Like, okay, when I was down and I played down music, did I get a good workout? Okay. And you can always just switch the playlist. Like, be really conscious and aware of your workout. And if you're not getting the best results out of the workout, you're getting the optimal performance that you wanted, just switch the workout music up.
Yeah.
Try something different mid-workout, see if that really brings up the endurance that you were looking for.
I haven't tried this, but the guy I was listening to earlier, he says he uses music as a tool during his workouts and he doesn't play it until he's about to hit his set. So he plays it right before he hits his set, and then he turns it off as soon as the set's over. Doesn't listen to music until he needs to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
So he uses it for the workout. It's not like he's listening to it, but he's using it as a tool. And he said it works pretty well. I haven't tried it. I might try it.
I like that because sometimes I find that, I'm like Ollie, like I don't find new songs all the time. So like I may listen to the same playlist 10 times or whatever. And it may have worked 8 out of 10, but now 2 of these workouts are just like I'm wasting time switching through songs, trying to find a song that's going to get me back that same results the 8 other times did.
You could pick one song, and before every set, you play that one part that gets you fucking ripped.
That's a good idea. I might try that.
There is a cool little theory I've been working on over here while I've been listening to you guys talk about all this. And it has to do with, dance and essentially what people have naturally developed as far as, their body motions due to a direct effect of the music. So you notice that hip hop has a very specific style of dance.
Yep.
Rock has a very specific style of not really dancing, but flailing about. there aren't many good dances that you can do to rock. But there are a lot.
I'd like to see those.
It's headbanging, and then there's mosh pits.
The one and
that's
only.
it. Yeah, it's like we have no connection.
It's pretty much like an error in your computer. It's like
essentially
like a seizure almost.
Yeah, seizure. That's
so
the perfect way to describe
it. Or you can have a dance.
Yeah.
It's a malfunction of the brain.
So there are a lot of ways, like if you analyze or if you just take specifically what the movement patterns are of different types of music, like from ballet you have classical, from hip hop dance you have hip hop of course, and then from our more modern like EDM and whatnot, you may have like a relation to competitive cheer, or you may have a relation to some of these dancers that are going through that stop, pause, and like wave.
Some of them are insane, like the Jabberwockies.
Yeah,
they're insane, dude. I don't understand how they do it.
So there's
crazy.
probably some form of correlation between the exercises that you're doing and the form of music that you listen to.
So there is, and this is where the study went. So there's like a newer study on how the music affects the entire brain, and it gets your entire brain working instead of just like one side like most things do.
Mm-hmm.
And it affects everything. So it affects your motor skills, your emotions, and your creativity. And that's where the motor function comes in.
Yeah.
Where your body mimics what is going on like through your ears. Like you're listening to that tempo. So now you're moving to the tempo.
Yeah.
So here's a strange question.
So it auto syncs, which is pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Have either of you ever heard a song in a dream?
No.
It's
Once.
incredibly rare.
Only
That's one
one
of those facts.
But I was dozing off in class and I heard a song.
You're creative.
Only 6%.
Yeah.
Only 6% of people remember hearing a song in their dream. And I am not one of those. I don't remember hearing a song ever.
It was really intense.
Yeah. It said if the only people that really truly will hear them in the dreams are like musicians or someone that has to do with music or someone that constantly listens to music. But it is like a really rare thing to have, which is kind of weird.
Yeah. I still remember the song.
I wonder if music artists come up with songs in their dreams.
Probably.
Maybe like wake up and they're
I
like,
could
oh
see it.
shit, that was that.
No,
There it is.
I've had like lucid dreaming
Never know.
moments where I'm like maybe it's more like a flashback where like I can remember hearing the song and it feels so real, like I can like hear it as if it was playing and it's not. I've had those moments, but I mean, I'm assuming that, you know, this particular study is referring to like when you're legitimately asleep, right?
Yeah, when you're sleeping.
Yeah,
when you're
I definitely
dreaming.
have never had that happen.
That's
And I
REM
don't
sleep
remember
when you're
that. Yeah.
dreaming. Another cool thing that music isn't only going to affect like just working out, but it can improve your IQ. If you listen to classical music, it has to do with, it basically uses the same brain activity as mathematics, engineering, and science. So
Wow.
just listening can increase your IQ by 9 points.
So you're telling me because my mom
so
didn't
maybe I should listen to more.
make me listen to classical, that's why I'm horrible with math?
Possibly. It's like it said, the
Fuck
same
me.
brain functions happen. So the for some whatever weird reason, those notes, they hit certain things in your brain and your brain reacts to it. So most people that are really smart are musically talented.
Well,
mean-
I don't know if you're familiar with this, but there is a math to conducting certain pieces of music.
Yeah.
Especially jazz. Jazz is very mathematical, and a lot of people
all
don't
math.
realize that. So it's not that it's just affecting your brain in that way; it's that it was conceived in that way.
Yeah.
Everything's numbers.
Justin and I were just watching a documentary on harmonic vibes, and like that's very much goes in tune with, it was talking about the mathematics of music and who created that and how that changed westernized, how that changed the westernization of music. But what they were saying with the harmonics is that for instance, the monks, and I know you're very interested in them, when they do the vibration, I guess, is a slower vibration wave than our brain wave. And so if you stick a person in a room and you make them listen to that and their brain wave will actually slow down to the same wave and will allow the person to have an out of body experience, like a trance. And this is so where a lot of monks have said that they've had that experience. They call it enlightenment, right? That's exactly what they're referring to. So, there are a lot of things about music that I think that we as humans haven't really fully discovered, and we don't really understand how much power it actually has, single notes and vibrations as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very powerful.
Yeah.
And if you play music, it's incredible. It's very hard to do.
Oh, yeah.
Guitar,
absolutely.
I play guitar. I'm not the greatest, but I can play.
I mean, you're pretty decent.
It's very difficult. It took a lot of time to fucking learn that stupid thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, art is the forefront of civilization, and it's the dictator of culture. So if we have a certain level of music or frequency that we're pumping out to the mainstream society, we do see a direct correlative effect when it comes to that. And I'm sure you can see, as someone that's been on this planet for 30 years at this point, you've gone through multiple decades of different cultures and styles of music. Yeah. And
I'm a rap, rock, country, bumpkin.
But I bet you noticed the culture change that came with those changes.
Oh,
in
yeah,
music.
absolutely.
100%.
So there's a frequency that we operate on that can easily be affected, especially by music, because it is so infectious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And remember, guys, that could be good or bad, right? So that's a wrap up for today, guys. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify every week, Friday, Operation Hustle, 2 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Or you can watch it live with us in real time if you're available at 2 on Facebook at Abs Fitness LLC and YouTube, Abs Fitness Film House. You can find us on Instagram at Abs Fitness _ Brandon, Florida. And now we are running a second account, Abs Fitness Brandon, Florida, too. And I think TikTok is
Abs Fitness Tampa.
And Trainer Torres.
Yep. Trainer Torres.
Is it Trainer _ Torres?
Yeah.
Yep. So you can find Ollie on all of his platforms at Trainer _ Torres. All right, guys. And if you're looking for in-person or virtual training, www.absfitnesstrainer.com. Let's go.
Doses.